What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. We're focusing on the LA Kings, beginning some off-season cleaning, if you will, as Dean Lombardi and Daryl Sutter both are. Lombardi was the architect of the 12 and 14 Cups, and obviously Daryl Sutter was the coach that helped get the job done. They've been shown the door by LA as the Kings are looking to go in a different direction. Luke Robitaille has been named team president, and Rob Blake, another Hall of Famer that happened to play with the Kings, is the team's new general manager. There's a whole lot to digest right here, and obviously I think Sutter's message has, in the last year and a half, whatever you want to call it, has fallen on deaf ears. Plain and simple. I mean, you look at last year, they had a players-only meeting and they locked Sutter out of the locker room entirely. That's not necessarily a sign of great, coach-player relationships. And I know Sutter comes off as a hard ass, and it's kind of a hard ass, but you need to have a little bit of substance there. The coaches have to have that respect for the players have to have that respect for the coach, and that obviously wasn't there towards the end in LA. And you think about the way Sutter coaches, and how much of a hard ass he can be, but he's got the job done twice. So again, I think the other issue is you look at Lombardi, some of those contracts he's given out over the last few years. He kind of, I'm trying to think the best way to describe it. So builds the 2 cups. I mean, even let's look at the Kings post the 2012 Stanley Cup. Re-signs Dustin Brown to a huge contract that Brownie has not lived up to, and they will do. Rob Blake's first job will be to possibly move his former teammate Dustin Brown. He fell in love with the guys that got him there, and I mean, I think he got blinded by the glory. He re-signed Brown for that now very, very erroneous contract. Kept Mike Richards around for a year when he could have amnestied him and saved himself the cap space, and then they had to buy Richards out, or it wasn't really a buyout, it was a termination. There were drugs in the Canadian border involved. It was like a fucking rip-off Canadian James Bond / drug dealing movie, starring The Rock as, I'm sure, the lead prosecutor, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, for the uninformed. And then, again, the Gabrick contract. I thought the cap hit was very nice when we signed that deal. It's not a good cap hit anymore, and he's under contract through 2021. You look at some of these guys. I mean, 36 points this year for Dustin Brown. That's a high for the last 5 years. It's like shit. I'm just looking at some of these really, really bad contracts, and the Kings have really fucked themselves. And I think the straw that broke the camel's back for Lombardi was, quite frankly, the Ben Bishop trade. Why go after somebody who plays a position that you have some stability in, instead of addressing the one area you have not, addressing as goal scoring? I mean, and if you honestly thought Jerome McGinley was going to be the be-all, end-all in LA, then I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you, or a bridge in Long Beach, if you will. Again, just there's still some talent in this team. Obviously, Carter had a great year. Anze Kopitar sucked, relatively speaking, this year. And they're going to have some other tough contract decisions with, Tanner Pearson and Tyler Toffoli's contracts both being up this season. So, again, this is not the way the Kings viewed their post-Stanley Cup championship life, but this is the reality of their situation now, and they've got to get their shit together, or else, run the risk of falling into the sand trap that is being mediocre to bad, which defined most of the first, 45 years of their existence. So, we'll see what happens, but definitely a really, really intriguing situation in LA, because again, some of the pieces you can still win with. It's just a matter of moving those bad contracts, infusing some youth in the lineup. And the main thing with Lombardi was he doubled down so many times and had nothing to show for it either. You look at the Andre Sakara trade, 2015. First round pick, and I think Roland McEwen is a decent prospect. For a non-playoff, they didn't make the playoffs with Sakura that year, and then he walked as a free agent, signed with Edmonton, and then he gave up a first round pick, Martin Jones, who the Bruins in turn flip for a first round pick, and a nice prospect in Crowley, and Colin Miller. I think probably could have been a nice second power play defenseman on that LA team for Milan Lucic, who played 5 playoff games with the King. They traded Lucic to give him some muscle to get him back up there. So, you give up 2 first round picks and some other pieces for a pair of players that you get a combined 5 playoff games out of. It's not a recipe for success. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. This episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes of the season and beyond. Later, guys.